Hey guys, JBRider here, welcome back to the channel. Today we're gonna check out the planned hover changes on the test server. Now this is pre-recorded footage, I could not record and commentate on the same time. So I'm doing post-commentating, I'm not sure what it's called in English. But I'm just talking over the footage that I'm watching. But as you can see here, I'm with a very heavy, big hover build with a bunch of hovers, I think like 20 hovers. And a humpback cabin. Now people said, and a bunch of YouTubers also said, the humpback cabin with a lot of hovers is super fast, but as you can see, it is still pretty sluggish. It's like a boat on the ocean and you don't have any control at all, so don't believe that. The humpback cabin with a lot of hovers is still super sluggish. I have a lot more tests done with different setups or hover setups that you can see there, which are a lot better. Now first I want to look at the test server and the live server with a dual tsunami build. Now I know the test server does not have any armor. That's because it won't even move with armor. Without any armor, just the hovers and the dual tsunami cannon, it is extremely sluggish on the test server. But as you can see on the live server, I have a dual tsunami build with some armor pieces and I'm still able to move around very quickly and very smoothly. Now as you can see on the test server without any armor, just hovers and the quantum cabin, it's still fast. But as soon as you add some more armor pieces or weapons, some weapons are pretty heavy, it becomes extremely sluggish and almost uncontrollable. Now I also wanted to test it with 6 hovers. As you see, I'm gonna put 2 more hovers on. Now I don't have the same hovers of all kinds, but it should be a pretty good test. Now as you can see, it's a little bit slower with 6 hovers, but you can still move around pretty quick. And this is with no armor, keep that in mind. Still be able to move and you have some redundancy. If they shoot one off, you're still able to float around fairly well. Now I've tested 5 hovers, and 5 hovers is actually the sweet spot for a hover build on the test server. I don't have any footage of that, but 5 hovers was pretty sweet. Now as you can see, I'm doing a forward, backwards, left and right test, and it is responsive enough. You know, you can deal with this on the battlefield. It's a bit sluggish and doesn't respond super quick, but you're still able to dodge stuff pretty quick if you're skilled. Now we're gonna take at the same build, 6 hovers, but with some armor pieces for the hovers, which everybody's gonna do, and dual tsunami. As you can see, it's extremely slow, extremely sluggish, and it's kind of unresponsive. If you go forward and you press backwards to reverse, it takes so long, like at least 3 or 4 seconds before you actually go to that direction. As you can see here, left and right, I'll go right in a second, and look at that. Look at how slow it is. It's extremely super bad. But I'll do some more testing and you guys can see some other builds that I've tried which actually work in the test server. Now as you can see here, I tried it with 4 hovers as well. It's a bit more faster and it's actually able to control it a bit more, but as you can see, if I'm trying to reverse, it's still pretty sluggish. As you'll also see when I try to go left and right, also a bit sluggish. But you are able to move, but if you lose one, you're done, you're toast. See how it takes just way too long, and it's super slow. Look how slow it is. Wheeled builds are a lot faster than that. So medium cabins, light cabins are pretty rip on the test server, or if they're gonna, if these changes come through, yeah, no more light and medium cabins on hovers. Triple hover still works with a duster cabin, but you know, it's at 5K with maybe 2 or 3 specters, so yeah, that still works. Now on the test server, I tested this with the icebox cabin, and as you can see, super responsive, a lot faster than the quantum cabin. As you can see, left and right super responsive, and it just felt a lot better. So the change they made is not really a big change. You're just limiting medium and light cabins on hovers, but people will add heavy cabins and they're still the same threat. Still pretty fast, still pretty mobile, and as you can see, I can keep locked onto the target, strafe around the target pretty easy. Now I tested the same build, same setup on the live server, and you're super low to the ground. You don't move that bad, but it's a bit sluggish, and I have less control on the live server with heavy cabins. As you can see, it still moves around pretty quick, but it's super low to the ground. Now left and right strafing is good, but not as good as on the test server. So you're able to do this, but you know how bumpy the maps are in Crossout. So on the live server, if you do this, you're just gonna bump on non-stop and just spin around uncontrollably like a ship on the ocean. But I'm still able to control it. Now I tried the humpback cabin on the test server with 4 hovers, and now as you can see, it moves around pretty quick, pretty nice and smooth. So the change isn't really gonna do anything. It's just gonna make people use heavy cabins on hovers now. So you're gonna see icebox cabin hover with triple crickets. Yeah, that's what you're gonna see. It's gonna deal a lot of damage, and you're not doing really anything. And even at low par score at 5K, I was talking about the triple hover build with a duster cabin and specters. That's still a problem. Now I tested the humpback cabin with a few more hovers, with 8 hovers. It's a lot less responsive, as you can see here. It's a lot more sluggish. So adding more hovers won't automatically solve your problems. I think having 4, 5, or 6 hovers is the sweet spot. 5 is the best, but not sure where you're gonna add the 5th hover. But as you can see, it's a bit sluggish, but it still works if you want redundancy. Now I tested the same thing and removed the humpback cabin and added a quantum cabin, and as you can see, super duper slow. You'll see that it's super unresponsive. Yeah, it's they just nerfed the small and light cabins for hovers in the test server. Now I've noticed that cabins with a high tonnage move the best on hovers on the test server, like the icebox cabin. The icebox cabin has the highest tonnage of all the cabins at, I think, 9,000 tons. So it moves around really quick. Even with 4 hovers, still moves around pretty quick, like I mentioned before, even with some armor. It's a bit less responsive as soon as you add some stuff, but you're still able to do your thing. But you know, as I mentioned, with weapons, it becomes super sluggish. And as you can see here, last test with the icebox cabin, a lot faster, a lot more responsive than the quantum cabin, and it just felt a lot better, to be honest. It just look at that control, look at that speed. So yeah. So my thoughts on the hover changes. They're not really doing anything. People are gonna use icebox cabins, and they're still gonna be there. And at low power score, people are gonna use a duster cabin with triple hover and machine guns at 5K. That's still pretty annoying. Honestly, I think maybe a power score raise will help the hovers out at you know, not seeing them at low power score. But I don't want hovers to be, you know, dominating top tier as well. Like make them super fast with scorpion builds and other weapons. Hovers are a tricky weapon or movement part to balance. I'm not sure what they're gonna do, but this changes nothing. That the one I saw on the test server, it just changes nothing. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. Hope I was able to help you out a bit on the hover changes. And yeah, peace out. I'll see you next time.